a hairdresser who had served time for theft, is released from Rikers Island Correctional Facility. Upon her return to her former shelter in Brooklyn, she sees her 6-year-old son, Terry, playing outside with other children from his foster home. She checks on Terry and promises that she's staying out of trouble and will be around more, but he ignores her. She asks his playmates not to tell anyone that she came by and gives them money for snacks. The oldest actress, the luckiest woman alive, she dating my dream man, Aaron. Peter Inez hands out flyers so she can earn from doing hair again. Soon she learns from one of the boys in Terry's foster home that Terry's at the hospital because he fell out of the window when he was running from their foster mother. Inez visits Terry, who asked her if she had abandoned him on a street corner. She gets angry as to why someone would tell him that and ask him not to think about it. After learning that Terry will be moved to a new foster home, Terry asks why she keeps abandoning him. She can't help but break down in tears. She collects herself and asks him if he wants to stay with her for a couple of days. When he says yes, she abducts from the hospital and takes him with her to Harlem, where she grew up. At a pizzeria. Inez roast fatback, Rudy Giuliani in the papers. Terry asks where his dad is, and she says he's with all the other black fathers. Inez calls her old friend Kim, who takes her in despite her mom's disapproval. Kim asked if Terry's father is her ex-boyfriend Lucky, who is still locked up. She reveals that she took Terry from the city's care and asked him not to tell anyone while buying food in the middle of job hunting. Inez sees that Terry's abduction is being reported on TV, prompting her to call and ask him to keep Terry in the house. When she gets home, she informs Kim and her mom that she found a job. Fed up with how low Kim's mom thinks of her, Inez confronts her, so Kim's mom calls Inez a streetwalker. They get into a fight, and Inez pushes Kim's mom, angering him. Inez is kicked out, and Kim yells at her for being so angry. When Inez tearfully says that her mom said she was a bad mother, Kim hugs her. After Kim leaves, Inez reveals to Terry that she lied about knowing someone here so they have nowhere to sleep. Terry angrily screams at her, telling her that she keeps effing up, prompting Inez to slap him for talking back. Inez calls people she knows, but they refuse to take her in. She gets more stressed out when she catches Terry attempting to run away and sees cops nearby. Fortunately, she sees an apartment for rent flyer on the wall next to Terry. She meets with the apartment owner, Miss Annie, and meets her grandson, P, who is about Terry's age. Annie informs Inez about a job opening cleaning staff for a nursing home in Queens. Inez takes this, and they soon have enough money to move to a bigger apartment. Apparently, it only costs $350. I miss the 90-year-old. Inez has no choice but to leave Terry alone in the house while she's at work, so she instructs him about the do's and don'ts in the house. He does nothing but rot in the house, watching tons of TV when she returns home. Terry asks why no one's looking for him, to which she says that they made it hard for them to find them, which is the whole point of running away. Hugging him, she tells him that there's more to life than messed up beginnings. She raises him crazy. All my body was a playground for 1,000 things before you came along. Now I see. A guy named Rudy provides Inez with Terry's false documents, such as a false birth certificate, so she can enroll him. Inez informs Terry about their new information that his name is Daryl Terry Raymond, and they just moved in from Jersey. One day when Terry gets home from school, Inez introduces him to Lucky and tells him that Lucky's going to move in with them soon. Inez tells Lucky that she wants them to be a family, but Lucky says he just wants her, and Terry is not his son. This pimply man better shut the hell up. Terry asks Lucky how he got his name, to which Lucky says he made a few mistakes. His name should be Unlucky. When Terry asks if he doesn't want him because he's a mistake, too, Lucky tells him that he's a blessing, especially for Inez. Later, Inez tells Lucky, who is deep in thought, that everything is changing and that in a couple of years they won't have to worry about everything they're stressing about anymore. With Inez in his arms, Lucky asks, what do two crooks know about raising a family? Lucky and Inez get married. Lucky promises Terry that he'll protect and take care of him and Inez, and that they're going to give him the life they never had. Okay, we can get behind this man now. He gives him a necklace and bonds with him through music. Over the years, Harlem undergoes serious changes, especially with new zoning laws. Under Mayor Giuliani, they crack down on minor offenses like graffiti and jumping the turnstiles at the subway. Cases of stop, question, frisk, police brutality terrorize the city. Acquittals in a controversial trial are also sending shockwaves throughout the city. In 2001, while walking on the street, teenage Terry and Parker stopped and searched by cops. Luckily, nothing terrible happens to them. Terry's teacher informs Inez that Terry is a very bright kid and suggests that she enroll him in a specialized high school. She introduces Anita Tucker, a counselor at Tech Science and Leadership, who also runs an outreach program on the side to get more students like Terry to take the test. She adds that a lot of kids go to reputable schools like MIT and Harvard, but there would be hella white people. When Terry informs Inez that they got stopped by the cops again, she starts to worry. At home, when Inez asks Terry what he thinks about his teacher's suggestion, he expresses he doesn't want to move, bribing him to at least think about it. She promises to buy him a new pair of Jordans. Terry takes the test just to prove that he can get into tech and ends up actually getting in, which delights Ines. However, he firmly refuses to go, angering Ines because she's working so hard to give him chances she never had. Ines asked Lucky to talk some sense into Terry, but Lucky, who's been away for weeks, tells her he'll do good at any school. Their conversation escalates into an argument about the state of their marriage. Ines gets angry at Lucky's nonchalance about the possibility that the cops will catch them soon, prompting Lucky to leave. Ines then angrily tells Terry that he must either attend tech or move out, and she cries alone out of frustration. This actress got everything looking for, and even when she's crying, Terry asks Lucky where he has been during his long absences and asks if he and Ines are no longer breaking each other's backs. Lucky shares how he met Ines at a coffee shop and then urges him to make better choices. Terry informs him that he got into tech, and when he asked him about what he thinks, Lucky tells him that it's his decision to make hugging Terry. Lucky tells him he loves him. Lucky tells Ines that he senses a little void in Terry, which is understandable. Since he didn't have anybody during his early years, he advises her to give Terry the answers he has been looking for, to which Ines says she will when the right time comes. And Harlem continues to change, with modern infrastructure replacing old ones, and many whites start to claim they're native to Brooklyn. 4 years later, Terry visits Lucky, who is in the hospital battling cancer. Lucky gives Terry his cassettes and CDs and encourages him to take advantage of the opportunities he's lucky to have. The apartment building's new landlord Gary visits Ines to see what repairs she needs in her apartment, and his men soon start doing the repairs. Shortly after, she informed him that the repairs have made things worse. He explains that his men thought it was a full flip like the other units, and says that he's going to have them come back and finish up for free since it's his fault. He asked them to leave the apartment for months until the renovations are done, or just leave. Angering Ines because they have nowhere to go, Jerry is the epitome of scum, looking like a white man's hairy asshole. The girl Terry likes finally agrees to go on a date with him during the date. Simone asked why he doesn't want to go to tech and what he wants to do instead, prompting him to share that he's into music and wants to be a composer. Anita checks on Terry because he has been showing up late, not handing in his work, and is still undecided on college. Terry shares that Lucky will likely not survive, and that Jerry is trying to push them out of the apartment. Anita offers him a part-time job at Kia, where she runs the after-school program. She says the pay is enough to help, and if he does well, they'll work on something better in the summer, since he's turning 18 soon. She only asks for his birth certificate and social security card. Terry gets home, and since Inez is at the hospital, he finds his forged documents and gives them to Anita without Arnez's knowledge. Inez sits down with Terry to talk, but before she can tell him the truth, Terry angrily tells her that all he ever wanted more than a mother was a father, and blames her for Lucky's condition. Shortly after Lucky dies, one of the water pipes in the apartment blows up, prompting Ines to look for the new Super Harvey heir. Anita informs Terry that his paperwork was denied because his social security number is invalid. Terry says he forgot that it expired, but she tells him that that isn't how it works, and asked him how he got false documents. When she asks if he really did ask Inez for his papers, he tells her that she doesn't have them. She tells him that might make it hard for him to get a job and do anything, prompting him to share that his papers are probably still with the city from when he was in foster care. Anita calls Janice, her friend in social services, for help, and Terry snatches the phone and ends the call. He reluctantly shares that they don't know he's with Inez, that his real name is Terry Wallace, and that it happened when he was little. She reports it and tells him that she needs to talk to Inez. Terry goes home and finds Inez trying to work around the mess at home because she can't get a hold of Javier. He informs Inez about what happened with Anita. Inez suggests that he stay with Annie, and until the apartment gets fixed, and says she's going to figure things out. She adds that she'll go to his school the next day to straighten things out with Anita the next day. Terry can't find or reach Inez, so he calls Kim to ask if she's heard from her. When Anita arrives with a lady named an Officer Phillips and Officer Russo, Terry tells them that Inez left the evening prior and hasn't been home since. Anita then reveals to Terry that Inez is not his biological mother and shows police documents saying she's the woman who abducted him. As tears stream down Terry's face, he's told that he'll be placed in Sheltering Arms, a family services program, until they can figure things out, because he doesn't have any known relatives they can trust. Terry flees the home and calls Kim, who tells him that she stopped by the group home, but nobody knows where he is. Sobbing, he tells her that he can't stay there. She invites him to stay with her, but tells him to stop by their apartment first, to pick up any last things he might want to take with him. When he returns to the apartment, Terry finds Inez collecting her things. Terry demands the truth from her, so she reveals that she was the one who found him in the street corner, not the one who left him. She says Lucky knew the truth, too, but he didn't agree with it. She says when she saw 2-year-old Terry running around outside the shelter, she waited outside on that block for hours with him for anybody to show up. He was abandoned. She saw so much of herself and wanted to look out for him because she didn't want him to end up like her. She apologizes for everything and says that she tried to change. She says she doesn't care what others say because she stole one, because she knows he's going to grow up to be somebody. He wishes that she had done a better job at keeping the lie to herself, so they could still be a family. He shares that he's scared that he won't have a home anymore, and that one day he's going to show up and it's going to feel like their little family never happened. Terry packs his stuff, including Lucky's CDs, before parting ways. Terry and Inez tearfully share a hug. Inez promises Terry this isn't goodbye, and Terry tells her he loves her. Terry saved Inez from a terrible life because Inez finally had to get her shit together in order to be there for Terry.